This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth, and these are some of the absolutely apocalyptic looking scenes coming out of West Kelowna as this fire is absolutely raging. It apparently jumped Lake Okanagan, and as you can see, some of the footage that's coming out is just mind-boggling. Like this one starts off with little kid swinging on a swing there, and it eventually shows just a massive amount of devastation. I mean, just look at these scenes in British Columbia, in West Kelowna right now. Again, absolutely terrifying. These are people who are trying to flee the over 50 kilometers an hour winds that are spreading this. And of course, questions are still surrounding about what caused something like this to occur. Again, absolute horror and devastation that we're seeing on the west coast there. Terrifying. Canada wildfire that jumped the lake grows 100-fold in 24 hours as 43-mile-per-hour winds fan the flames, with significant number of homes destroyed and thousands who are forced to evacuate. And of course, it's not only Kelowna. British Columbia is now in a state of emergency, and 19,000 have fled Yellowknife fire. This is up in the Northwest Territories. Canada's fourth largest emergency evacuation is underway right now. Residents in Yellowknife, the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories, home to about 20,000 people, were forced to flee their homes as the wildfire is within 10 miles of the city's northern edge. And it's not just Canada right now, folks. As I am making this video, thousands of people are being ordered to evacuate as wildfires roar through Washington state right now, as this just continues to spread all across the West Coast right now. And of course, if you saw my video from a few days ago, the truth about the Maui land grabs and what may have caused those fires, you would know there's all sorts of things that do not add up when it comes to what's happening over there. Like, why was the water turned off and people not allowed or able to access that? Why were evacuation routes blocked and police were actually stopping people from being able to leave? Why were the police also stopping local Maui residents from trying to, get support and aid to their fellow people who were, dying? Why were the tsunami alarm systems not used? You know, the guy at the head of that has recently resigned, saying, well, if I sounded the alarms, people would have run to the high hills. They're trained to get away from a tsunami, and that would have led them to the fires. Well, at least it would have had some kind of warning. There's so many things to point to why this could be a potential LIHOP or MIHOP type situation, made it happen on purpose or let it happen on purpose for the purposes of a land grab. But as you may recall, if you did see that video, I also discussed the idea of DEWs being used, direct energy weapons, and how that is a psyop that is purposely being put out there on purpose to distract people from the truth of what is going on. Now, as I pointed out in that video, DEWs are real. I mean, I showed a clip from a spokesperson from the Pentagon talking about how the Department of Defense spends upwards of $1 billion a year on this technology. But as I also explained in that video, DEWs are invisible. Think about them more like sound waves. So when we sit here talking about how some of these things can be happening on purpose, people can just point to the DEW psyop as saying, oh, you're just one of those people who probably believe in space lasers that caused this to happen, and they will brush it off as a nonsense conspiracy theory. Again, this is all done by design, as I explained in this video. Again, if you missed it, guys, be sure to check that one out. Well, now, when it comes to this massive evacuation happening in Yellowknife, with like almost 20,000 people being forced to flee, we're finding out that there are cases of arson that is allegedly the cause of this. There are 2 incidences. 4 people have been charged. 2 more are still currently being sought, guys. RCMP are investigating 2 arson calls in Yellowknife as wildfires looms on the city's west flank. There's also suspected human causes of the wildfires over in the South Okanagan. Even the BC Wildfire Service's own website here currently lists the out-of-control wildfire situation as the suspected cause as being human, either by accident or intentionally. So this is very important stuff to cover, guys. We're going to look at all of this in this video and much more. But really quickly, guys, just before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information. Here you can do a one-time donation with PayPal. You can do Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. You can send me an e-transfer to Dan at pressfortruth.ca. You can also send stuff to my P.O. box, guys. Links for all of this are located in the description below. Thank you so much to everyone who takes their time and effort today to support my efforts to bring you this information. All right, guys, I want to start with this video that I put out back in 2020 when there were massive wildfires raging in Oregon. And back then I was asking, is this arson or is this climate change? This is a deep dive under the West Coast wildfires with Press for Truth. And back then, when I was looking into the claims that this is looking more so like arson than anything else that people are pointing to, we had Facebook and the FBI waging an information war on West Coast wildfire arson conspiracy theories, they call it. You got to ask yourself, why was Meta and the FBI back then trying to say that people like myself who are claiming that this is arson are just conspiracy theorists? These are just nonsense conspiracy theories, and you should not look into this. Again, all part and parcel and designed to block us from the truth of what's been going on there. And the truth is, what we're seeing is a lot of these fires being done on purpose. As we see here, Yellowknife, RCMP says they've charged 4 female youths with arson for trying to light fire in a small green space down on Burwish Drive in Yellowknife on Tuesday night. This seems to be the source of the fires. And do you guys remember back when there were claims that, residential school children have been found, and this caused a whole bunch of people to go around and start burning down churches? I put this one out back then. Canada Day is canceled. These are the people who want to burn down churches. 6 Catholic churches have been burned to the ground after unmarked graves were found with the remains of Indigenous children at some of these residential schools. By the way, guys, side note, I just tweeted this out today. Evacuation after 14 anomalies detected, found no evidence of graves. As I said, imagine my surprise. But let's not forget, guys, this caused these people to go around and start setting fires to these churches. Now, let's remember that. And then we think about these climate change activists who are really just eco-terrorists who began doing similar things. I pointed that in this video. These guys are going to bring you to your knees. It's a new religion that we're dealing with here. A new religion is emerging, and their main belief is that the individual should be subservient to the whole for the sake of saving the planet. Today's climate change activists are actually religious cult followers who have been completely brainwashed to believe in the so-called man-made climate change while demanding that the government do something about it. In this video, Dan Dicks of Press for Truth exposes these eco-terrorists for what they are, while most importantly explaining what the real issue is and who the real enemy is. So, again, we're constantly having people point to the idea that this is climate change. Meanwhile, you have these climate extremists running around looking like they're the ones starting these fires, as I've exposed before. Guys, if you haven't seen this one, climate lockdowns are here. But what caused the fire? As Press for Truth delves in the fire, well, with virtually every problem we've seen in Canada, the blame seems to rest on state control. And the current fires raging all across Canada are certainly no exception. You got to ask the question, why was funding cut to certain firefighting outlets in Canada, in Alberta, in Quebec, where they had submitted an application to receive more funding? That hasn't even been accepted yet. There are all sorts of reasons why this is, highly highly suspect what we're seeing here now in Canada. But people keep saying it's man-made climate change that caused this. Well, no, we're literally getting reports now that they are arresting people on the grounds in Yellowknife who are starting these fires. And a lot of the times it's these crazy climate activists who want to say, see, everything we've been trying to tell you is now coming to a very dangerous head, and we have to do something about it. You have to give up your rights. You have to accept a global carbon credit, a global carbon tax, and things of that nature. And it's absolutely insane. Guys, just wanted to bring this to your attention. When you see headlines claiming that this is all man-made climate change, let's not forget, Meta and the RCMP and the FBI, in fact, are on a campaign right now to convince you that it's just a conspiracy theory, to question that something like this has never been seen before is, oh yeah, no, this was supposedly caused by natural causes and not by anyone with ill intent. Guys, I want to remind you, if you did miss my video, The Truth About the Maui Land Grabs and what may have caused those fires, don't forget to check that out. Very important information contained in that video, especially in regards to the PSYOP that wants to distract you from the truth of what's happening and try to just, dispel all this stuff as conspiracy theories. When again, there's a history of this stuff happening. So just wanted to bring all of that to your attention. Once again, guys, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Again, links are located in the top of the description below. Thank you again to everybody who takes the time and effort to support my work here at Press for Truth. And that's all for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends and family who you think need to see it the most. And stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.